And we are live. You can catch us on Rumble and YouTube. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and we'll be right back with you.
So they know what's coming.
Yeah.
Howls Over Baz. I'm Jacob Casas.
I'm Rico Savage.
And we have an entrepreneurship segment right now. So I'm going to have the guests introduce themselves and tell them a little bit about who you guys are and what you do. We'll start with you.
Matt Junker. I have a consulting group where we assess small businesses, help them identify where they're having trouble, come in and help clean it up, fix it.
Okay, and then we'll go to you now.
Hi, my name is Rashina Chadha. I am the owner and designer of Shawl Dolls. We are a women's wholesale clothing company. We have wholesale and retail. Everything that we do is convertible, so you can wear all of your items multiple ways, and everything we make is one size. So we have been size inclusive before it was a hashtag, and most of our products are made in the U.S.
Okay, and you guys said you guys have a business together.
And we do have a business together.
Can you tell them the name of the business together?
The business is Naturally Stoned.
Yes. So all of the stone bracelets that we're wearing are all from natural semi-precious gemstones, so hence the name Naturally Stoned.
Yeah, so when you guys first told me that, I was like, naturally stoned. I was like, all right, so
Like, where's the-
I wonder where the little bits are. We're getting samples, you know. So we got samples, though.
Yes, we have samples for you guys of all of our stones.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, I appreciate that. So first, your business, you're fashion, right?
Yes.
So you said that you've been on some, we were talking earlier, you said about some networks. What kind of networks have you been on?
So we've been on the Home Shopping Channel for 6 years. We are a direct-to-consumer company as well as a wholesale company. So wholesale meaning that we sell to other stores. So we do sell to the Home Shopping Channel, and I go on air and I sell my product and I show our shawls that you can wear a bunch of different ways. And it's done very well for us in the past 6 years that I've been on
That's what I was
there.
going to ask. How long you been doing that? 6 years?
I've had my company now for 12 years. We started in May of 2012, and we've been on TV on Home Shopping for the past 6 years.
So how lucrative is that kind of business? Because being on that channel is a big deal.
It is a big deal.
So you're going to be able to sell on a channel like
Yes,
that.
yes.
But I would never think, how lucrative a shawl business would be. So tell us a little bit about that.
So when I started my business, I had a business partner who's 4'11" and I'm 5'10", and we wanted to make something that both of us could wear without sizing it. So all of our items, like I had mentioned, are all one size. So we actually fit petite to plus. You can be a size small or you could be a 2X and you can fit our product. And then we just wanted to give it a different angle, so we wanted to make everything convertible. So that way it has multiple uses. You can wear it different ways. It's easy to travel with. It's a good gift item. It fits into a lot of different categories to be able to sell to multiple channels and for it to be able to fit everybody.
Oh, okay. Wow. Yeah. So what's like? Obviously, it's women mostly, right?
Yes.
But so is there like a certain demographic of people? Like, I'm just trying to get like a picture in my head about the business.
So I jokingly say we sell to your mom because every time I show somebody, they're like, "Oh my gosh, my mom would love this."
Shawls. You think of shawls,
yeah.
you think
So
of older women.
yeah. So you throw it on. It covers. What's nice about our products is that if you want your arms covered, it covers you up. If you wanted to pull it up to show off something else, you can do that. But the fact that it is convertible and you can wear it different ways really allows all of our customers to style it the way that they want to, and they get to feel really creative and they get to feel like they're the designer in our product.
Everything's made in U.S. or?
So majority of our line is made domestically in the U.S. So we're based in Los Angeles. We make everything in L.A. Our Shawl Doll label, and we also have another line called Doll Face, and those are our products that are imported. So we do faux furs, we have sweaters, different heavier pieces. That's what we use for that label. But the Shawl Doll brand is all USA made.
How is the garment industry? I hear it's a very tough industry.
It is a very intense, tough industry to break into and to stay relevant in, especially during the pandemic. The whole industry shifted, and that's when you really saw the rise of live sellers on different platforms and different apps. When I tell our story about how we got started, we started in 2012. We started our business before Instagram was a thing.
Right.
Which is crazy to think that Instagram has only been around for 11 years. But learning how to sell on different platforms and learning how to be relevant on those platforms. Nobody used to sell on Facebook. Nobody used to sell on Instagram. And now you have TikTok where all of our social media is the same. So if you do want to follow us, everything is at Shawl Dolls. But we have a large following on TikTok, and that was something that I had to learn how to do. And I was like, oh my gosh, I'm getting too old to learn all these different social media platforms. But just to stay relevant and to stay on top of those things, to see how your customers are buying and to see where they're buying and what they are buying is super, super important. Being in the fashion industry is not for anybody with thin skin. You got to have thick skin to be in the fashion industry.
So when I was saying I like fashion too, and like I have a clothing line, and you're like, no, don't do it.
Don't do it.
So like, what are some of the things that you would tell up and coming people who want to get in the position that you're in? The key things to do so they can like get past the things that are gonna break them. You know what I mean? Like to help them out and get to where you're at.
Yeah, in House Over Baz, we like to go through the journey of the entrepreneur.
Okay.
Because it gives the audience more of a look at who you are.
Okay.
A lot of times, the commercial is a little different than the person.
Right.
People buy from people.
Yes.
So give us a little bit of look on that.
So, like I told you, when we started, my business partner was 4'11", I'm 5'10". You have to, when we started our business, we didn't know who we were actually going to sell to. You know, you can go into something, and if you want to start a company, you say, well, I want to sell to 20-year-olds, or I want to sell to 40-year-olds, I want to sell to skaters, or I want to sell to breakdancers, or whoever you want to sell to, right? But the main thing is you actually have to go out and test your market. And I'm telling Matt this as well about our other line, is that we actually have to go out and see who's actually buying our products. And when we started with $1,000 each. We bought some fleece fabric in downtown, cut some shawls in my living room, and sold them for $20 a pop out of the trunk of our car and at little art walks and farmers markets.
I love it.
And we really did, because the thing is that, and going back to your question about like, what do you do to start a clothing line? We were an anomaly because it takes a lot of money to start a clothing line. People don't realize that it takes so much money to make your samples, to do photo shoots, to buy fabric, to do all of these things, and that's money that you don't get back.
And everything doesn't work the first time.
And nothing works the first time. I said, we were truly an anomaly where we were able to make a shawl that was one size that you can wear different ways and sell them for $20 out of the trunk of the car. And then we're like, wow, people actually like this. And then we saw the audience who was buying it. It actually was, like I said, my mom would love this, right? We sell to a more mature customer. But again, we didn't know that going in. We didn't say, hey, we're going to sell to middle-aged women, in middle America. We said, let's see who wants to wear this product. And we started in May of 2012. We launched a website, and we're like, hey, shawldolls.com, we're a website, we're a company now. But that didn't mean that we sold anything. We still had to drive people to that. And so when we started seeing, okay, well, we're gonna sell it, we're gonna see who buys it, we're like, you know what, if we're gonna do this, we need to go balls to the wall, right? We're like, let's go to a trade show. And our very first trade show was Magic. And if you know anything about the fashion industry, Magic is the largest apparel trade show in the country, which I just got back from last week. And we said, all right, let's do it. Let's go and do a trade show. And we opened up 30 new accounts that first show, and we wrote a ton of orders. And I was like, maybe we need to be a wholesale company.
For the audience who doesn't know, is it a trade show like Fashion Week? Is it the same thing, or is it
no? So
a pop up with a bunch of
So an industry trade show like Magic is going to be where all of the manufacturers are going to go and set up their booths, so that way the boutique owners can come and they can place orders for their store. It's not open to the public. You have to be in the industry to be able to attend the show.
Type thing.
You have to have an actual store, yes. You have to have a resale license, whether it's a brick and mortar, an online boutique, but you have to be an actual retail establishment to be able to attend. And so we decided to do that and say, hey, if we're going to do it, we might as well do it, right? And that completely changed us to say we are going to be a wholesale company. And then I think just going forward to anybody that is trying to figure out if they want to have a clothing line. You have to figure out whether you want to be a wholesaler or if you want to be a retailer, because there's very few brands that can actually do it 50-50. You're going to be leaning more one side or the other. Like for us, we are really a wholesale company, but we do have direct to consumer. It's only about 5% of our business, but we truly make our collection, show it at market, and we sell it to other stores.
Okay, yeah, that's great. So, the garment industry seems crazy.
It is.
But
it's wild.
The consulting industry. So tell us about that.
Where do you come in?
So
how do you help me?
So consulting for businesses, so what's your background in business then?
So my background is corporate America. So naturally stoned. Part of the play on words is I'm sober 31 years. And so I got sober really young.
Congratulations, by the way.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
And then I went into business and went corporate for the last 20 years, 25 years. Went through a transition through just before 2020 and decided that I wanted to get out of corporate America, wanted to help others. One of the guys I was working with, he had his business and he was in the treatment industry, and he asked me to come and help him with the business side of that. And so I stepped into consulting that way and helping identify the areas of inefficiencies, identify with the background in corporate America within the sales and operations and HR and finance. I was able to bring all of that to the table and help a small business owner identify areas where he's not really proficient at.
Okay.
Where most small business owners, they have a passion for, say, fashion or in like an
Yeah.
industry or what they're doing, but they don't really have a business background. My degree's in business, and so my background's in business. And so coming into a small business, I'm able to identify things where most of the time they get looked over or fall by the wayside, and so we identify those areas and come in and help fix it. And basically, it springboarded from helping a friend of mine to others reaching out and saying, hey, I hear you're doing this now, can you help? And so a lot of referral business, a lot of helping, from $500,000 to about $2 million a year businesses that they need help.
What kind of businesses do you help? Which ones have you helped so
Well,
far?
my specialty is in treatment. And so because of my background in recovery, I help a lot of treatment centers. But I've also helped others in real estate or production. I've helped some finance companies, some leaseback companies where I come in and identify where are you falling short.
So there is I think there's a really big market for that, because I see exactly what you said is most people just really have a passion for what they're doing.
Mm-hmm.
See, mine was a little different. I own a business that I don't have a passion for. It makes money, right? So I really dug deep into the back end of the business side of things. Mm-hmm. But that's not usually the case.
That's not the norm.
That's not the norm at all, right? So the people that I see, they don't have any business background, and I've even seen businesses flourish to $2 million.
Mm-hmm.
My best friend, his business flourished to $2 million his second year, and he lost it all because he was spending too much money. He was trying to grow too big, and I was warning him because I knew a lot about business because of my business. I've been in business 10 years, so I do know a lot about business, and I have a passion for it. I love the back end of business. I don't know what it is. It excites me. So are you kind of in that way of thinking? Like, does the business side kind of excite you?
It doesn't matter the industry or the product. I really enjoy the people and trying to help them. Right? I have a passion for helping others, and so if I can help other people do better, then everybody wins.
Yeah.
Right? And so on the business itself, I really enjoy dissecting a company, dissecting a small bit, and dissecting what is going on and how do we help. Right?
Yeah.
And like you said, they really have a passion for what they're doing and an expertise. Yeah. They're really good at what it is that they drive.
Yeah.
And like you said, sometimes they grow too fast or they get really stagnant or complacent.
Yeah.
And they've been around for 10 or 15 years, but then they get complacent.
And that's the majority of businesses. They get complacent. It's very easy to get complacent, especially if you're making a certain kind of money and you're just kind of enjoying the lifestyle and you're like, hey, I'm on vacation. I got complacent for a while. And I was like, what am I doing? I need to get back on track. You know what I mean? So I do see that is a huge market. I think that's huge, actually, really thinking about it, because going around have a lot of we do a lot of entrepreneurship podcasts, and majority of what they are is just the passion for it, and they know nothing about business at all.
The other piece to that is the accountability piece. So a lot of times when you're working with somebody, there's accountability with the ownership, right? Because the owners want to set goals, and they have the goals in their mind, but they're not setting them, and then they're not being held accountable to them. And you can't really be held accountable internally with your own company. So somebody, third party, who's unbiased can come in and say, okay, hey, look, we talked about this last week. Where are we at? What are you doing? Have you taken these steps yet? What steps are we going to take to get to where we want to be?
So you pretty much give them, like you outline a blueprint for them, and you have them execute some of those
Roadmap.
Okay, a roadmap for it. Okay, so if you were to come in, like let's say you come into my business, right? I have a diesel repair shop. It's all big rigs. It's all commercial stuff. What would be the first thing you come in and do, just so the audience knows? Like you were to come in, I do a consultation with you. You come in, and I talk to you about, and then you walk into the office, and you kind of, how would it start?
The first thing we do is we sit down and identify what you think the problem is.
Okay.
Right? Because sometimes what we think the problem is isn't really where the issue is. And so we want to identify what the actual problem is and where we're running into trouble. Is it finances? Is it cash flow? Is it your AR? Is it aging out? You're not collecting? Is your staff complacent? Are they not is your production slow? So we identify what area are you having the biggest issue in, and then tackle that first, and then step through that.
I like that. So let's say you come in. We'll just pick one, right? Let's say my staff is complacent. Okay, how would you execute that? Like, how would you start?
The first thing we identify, is it because of the leadership?
Mm-hmm.
Is it on you? And what kind of leadership is it, right? So a lot of what happens is staff mimics leadership.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
and so we
exactly.
identify, and sometimes I come in and say, look, we're going to have some hard conversations because we're going to identify areas where we're lacking,
mm-hmm.
and then we can roll that out to our staff. Did we create the culture of complacency?
Mm-hmm.
And then how do we slowly change that culture without losing headcount, without losing our people? Because we don't want to lose people, and we want to keep them on board. We just want to redirect. Do we have too many roles? Are they performing too many jobs? Are they inefficient because they're spread so thin? So identifying those pieces is important, and it's a collaborative effort between the consultant and the owner.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
I like that. So what are the most common things you see?
Leadership.
So yeah, I was going to say that.
Jacob, you're fired.
It all stems from ourselves.
Yeah.
Right. And
Almost always.
everybody wants to say my staff's underperforming or my numbers aren't where they need to be. Well, what are we doing to drive that?
Yeah.
What are we allowing? What are we individually? What signal are we sending out? Do we not care? Am I gone all the time? Am I not around? Am I not visible within my unit? Or within the organization? Do you walk the floor? Are you busy over here taking vacations or spending? A lot of times what I see is owners might be rolling up in their vet, and the guys that are working in the shop are in their Hondas, and they're like, this guy's just spending all the money, and they get resentful.
Yeah.
And so the image that we portray also has an effect on our employees.
That's really good to think about. I mean, I guess you wouldn't want to roll up in your vet to the company.
No, I
and
mean,
these dudes are barely
sometimes you
surviving.
do. Sometimes you do, but if these guys are hand to mouth, then you don't want to rub it in, right? And we don't. Sometimes we forget. Like,
when did you start the business? When did you start doing consulting? Was it before COVID or after COVID?
Well, I was doing some individual consulting before COVID, but really right at COVID.
So what is the changes you've seen from before COVID to now? It has to be some dramatic changes in the way people do business.
A lot more people are more interested in the quality of life over the dollar.
Yeah, for sure.
I think we've had a big transition into quality of life, and it rolls into our employees as well.
Yeah.
And so if we are working with our employees or we're working with our people, we have to remember that they're looking at quality of life as well, rather than the bottom line, because it's not their bottom line. Yeah. It's their quality of life. And so there's a big transition from there's a large transition from what the American dream may have been to what it may be today. Whereas the old American dream was buy a house, get a car, have a family, get the white picket fence. Today, the American dream might be more along the lines of the freedom to go where we want, the freedom to not have to do that, to work for freedom rather than for the dollar.
Yeah, time.
So you'd help her with her business too then?
Some. I would think so. I hope so.
So how is it with the transition? You going from being a consultant, now you're the actual person that has the business.
This is insane.
And nobody's telling you what, you know what I mean?
Somebody is telling me what to do
Okay, so
all
now
the time.
switch. Okay.
This is a switch of roles completely.
How is that? Like,
it's super exciting. So I've always sold services. So and any product I've ever sold has been a corporate product. Mm-hmm. This is a passion of mine, and I love crystals, and I love rocks. I walk around, I'm like, I like rocks, really.
Let me check your pocket.
I usually have one in my pocket. Right? Kill Tony. I like rocks, right? And so this is kind of how this came about. I was like, I really like rocks, and I like cathedrals and crystal towers and all this stuff. And they're like, you're such a geek, and I'm like, I just like it, right? And she's a wholesale expert. And so I tapped Roshina on another project that I had that needed a fashion consultant. Okay. And so in my consulting business, I have people that I tap on the shoulder and I bring in for different projects, right? Okay. So if I have a project where I need somebody within fashion industry, I would say, hey, Roshina, can you step in? Is this something you can take on? And then we build an agreement where she's working under the consulting group. So as a result of that, I hope that I've helped with her business.
A little bit
on driving business.
So how is it coming together to start your own business together?
So how did we start this? How did this happen?
I want to ask how, and then I want to ask how's it going. You know what I mean? Together, working together.
How did you guys get barely stoned?
I know it's different.
Barely stoned.
How did you guys get barely stoned?
Naturally stoned. Barely
stoned.
Oh shit, my bad.
No, you're good.
Going back to the trade show circuit, like I had mentioned, we just went to Magic. The trade show before that was the Home and Gift Show in Las Vegas. Okay. So I had a booth over there, and I asked Matt, I said, hey, do you want to come to the Home and Gift Show with me so you can check out my industry, see how I run my business, you can share the booth with me, like we can sell some stuff, right? And he's like, sure, I'll sell some rocks.
It was awesome.
It just sounds
like retail.
Look, I used to sell rocks, and now I used to smoke rocks, and now we sell rocks, right?
It's like a Dave Chappelle episode.
Hey, you got a lot of comment, you know?
Yeah. Sell rocks. So he came with me to the gift show, and I told him, I was like, you know what, I was like, first of all, he literally comes with a duffel bag of rocks.
I showed up with like 1,000 bracelets.
1,000 bracelets in a duffel bag, and I was like,
hang on.
briefcase of rocks. And I was like, hang on, we actually need to display this properly. Let me merchandise it correctly so you actually look like a legitimate brand. He's like, do you want to buy some rocks? So we displayed it properly, and it did very well. The customers had a great response to it. They loved the product. And I said, this might actually need to be a business because you have orders, you have to invoice people, you have to ship merchandise now. And
so I had to create a Square account, create a bank account, create a name,
like
all the stuff. Well, I had some of those already in place, but it was a plug and play. But she said, hey, you've got actual real customers that are going to reorder, so you need to actually get.
Okay, go ahead. I was going to say, I feel like you could sell a lot of those on like Instagram because they're big right now. I know everybody's wearing beads all the time.
When I usually see these, I like Aldo, so I go on Aldo and they have like the thing with like probably 4 of them on there, and it has like a chain to go with it. It's like a whole little set.
That's what we do.
Okay.
So I just want to give a fun fact about actual stones. So like you said, you see them all over the place. And for you guys that are watching too, if you have a real gemstone, when you touch it, it's going to be cold.
If it's real.
So right away you know it's real if it is actually cold. Otherwise it's just going to be plastic or glass. So there's a price difference on different stones.
We're learning right now.
Yes, there's a price difference on different stones. Once upon a time, I used to work in the jewelry industry. I was a certified diamond grader and jewelry designer in another life before fashion design. So coming back to jewelry actually is pretty full circle for me, and he likes rocks, and I know how to sell things, so it kind of worked out.
It's coming out bad.
Yes.
He likes rocks, you know?
But everything happens for a reason, and so we went to this trade show about a month ago, and then a week after that is the next show in Dallas. So when we do your trade shows, you're on a trade show circuit, you have all the different areas. Our rep told me, she's like, hey, our jewelry line that was in the showroom just dropped out. Yeah. I was like, great, I have a jewelry line. Without even telling her what it is, I bring it, she sees it, she loves it, she's like, oh my gosh, I love the name, I love the design, I love everything about it. Puts it up in her showroom, it does very well. The show right after that is Magic, what I was telling you.
You're the one, you're well connected.
She's connected.
Yeah,
I
you're
need to
connected.
take this to Magic. And I told him, I said, Matt, you're actually going to be a real business. Like,
She
we're
says,
going
"You
to
gotta go to
Magic.
Magic."
You got to go to Magic. You got to get a display. You got to get this, everything. And I literally gave him like 24 hours. I said, I need you to go shopping. I need you to buy this, and this, because I was still in Texas while this was going on. And he's FaceTiming me at like Home Goods, like, do I need this display? Like, what am I getting? But it worked out. It all came to be.
And how long were you doing it before you got that big break? How long were you already doing?
2 weeks.
You were only in it for 2 weeks?
Well, so
I mean, like, he
we've
sells
literally
rocks.
I sell rocks. I mean, I
You've been putting them in your pocket for a
He's
couple of
been
years.
putting
but
it in
you
your
didn't-
pocket and selling them.
I've sold the cathedrals and I've sold rocks, and I go to the Tucson Gem Show and I go to Quartzsite.
So you already
kind of
know
So
the
I
business.
know
Yeah.
I know rocks.
Yeah.
I know crystals, and so I know that part. What I don't know is this wholesale side.
Yeah.
And so when Roshina called me up and said, "Hey, first." She's called me and said, "Hey, you want to go to Dallas?" And I was like, "What?" She goes, "I have a rep. She wants your stuff in Dallas." And I'm like, "Okay." So we had to put together 15 different sets, as you said, and we do it a little differently, where we put the sets together and we name them, and we basically name the sets on the properties of the stones,
Correct.
and they're aesthetically pleasing as well as
I make them aesthetically pleasing.
the essence of the stones is very calming or grounding or awakening or however that is, right? And so she literally gave me about 2 days on Dallas, and then she gave me a day on Magic and said, "Hey, Friday, I'm going to be there. You need to get there Saturday so you could set up." And I was like, "Okay, I guess we're going to Magic." And honestly, we set up a trade show booth in Magic, and it went really well as well. So
you got tested
Man, you
pretty
got-
fast.
yeah. There is no slow.
But I did tell him, I said, if you actually want to do this, it's not going to be easy, and I am pretty tough on him.
It's good though. I love that because I love accountability. It actually makes you
Yes.
push a little harder. So I mean, everybody kind of needs that.
And honestly, if I'm going to help other people do their business,
Yeah.
then I have to be in the trenches too.
I feel like every business person needs accountability. Somebody that's
You
going to hold
have
them
to.
accountable.
You have to.
'Cause, you know what I mean? Because you get better.
It's like a personal trainer having a personal trainer.
Yeah, exactly what it is. So how do you guys know each other then? I'm sorry because I thought you guys were married when you came in. I have to just say that right now. Right?
We play soccer
We
together.
play soccer
I got up
together.
a little red right now.
No, I am married. So
Oh, you are? Okay.
I'm like,
I'm the
babe,
work-
I'm married.
I'm
I
the
am
work
married.
wife.
The work wife. Okay.
She is the taskmaster. That's
Yes.
for sure.
We play soccer together.
Okay, great. Yeah, so tell us a little bit about that. We heard you were talking about that earlier.
Yeah.
So you guys play soccer.
Yes.
So we play on a couple
shit.
different teams, multiple teams throughout the
Together
week.
or separate?
Together, and sometimes against each other.
Yes.
Who's better?
He plays keeper. I played a
Okay, different position, okay.
different positions.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She. unless
Messi
she's
or
playing against-
Ronaldo?
Messi.
Ronaldo.
Of course, it's Ronaldo. Ronaldo's like a god.
He's prettier.
Messi's a little guy.
prettier.
prettier.
Pretty.
He's very pretty. We have to go with Messi.
Oh, those are soccer players. Sorry. He's
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
I don't watch
So-
that.
so-
He golfs.
So we play soccer, and then we're also putting together a birthday tournament for a buddy of mine and I. We're both turning 50 this month, and
In like 2 weeks.
Hold on.
In 2 weeks, you're turning.
Wait, you are?
Yeah, I'm
don't look
turning
50, so
I'm
you're
turning
good,
50
man.
in 2 weeks, just so you know. And
How does it feel?
right now, I just got a shock to my system.
No, when I say that,
Just
out
when I
loud,
say that out loud
ignore that
online.
day. Just ignore the day.
Rub your stones. Rub your stones. Breathe.
Calm.
Breathe.
So
See, that's another selling point, people.
Yeah.
You get to rub your stones.
You
Wait
get to
till-
Yes,
the calming effect.
They are calming and grounding.
We're putting together a centennial tournament, which is really fun. And Roshina put the flyer together. It's the Step Brothers flyer.
I have to show you guys. It's pretty
You
funny.
said Step Brothers?
Yeah.
It's Step
I'll
Brothers.
show you.
Show them the
Boats and
picture.
hoes.
Boats and hoes.
Boats and hoes.
It is so
Rocks and pipes.
Yes.
I like rocks, man. I'm
like
telling you.
Hang on, I gotta find this.
So you're like into. So is it just more of the shapes? Because I know a couple people that really do actually like rocks, but like the shape of it.
I bet.
No, but I'm saying like yeah, you're
How
my
do
best
we
customer.
how do we show this on camera?
How do
we
you show this
How
on
do we show
camera?
this on camera?
you do like a
this
zoom
is
out?
This is your
this
camera.
is what
Oh,
it
there's
is.
the camera. zoom in. She made this flyer. It's ridiculous.
Oh my God, I gotta see that.
Hey, we need one of those.
Hey, we need to do one of those.
We need
Yeah,
one of
look at
those.
this. You guys do.
Oh, to the left.
There it is.
There it is.
It's the Centennial Tournament.
We have to have one.
That's hilarious.
So- You can do it.
dude.
So
That's
if
hilarious.
anybody does want to play in our Centennial Tournament, it is the 21st of September. It's an indoor soccer tournament. It's co-ed. It's $295 per team, and the winner will get
Where at?
$750 in Upland
I live
at
in
SoFi
Upland.
at
You ever
SoFi
been to the
Arena.
SoFi?
The
The old Upland Arena.
The old Upland Arena.
Okay, yeah. Okay, that's cool.
Yes.
Yeah, that's great.
Shout out to the Upland Arena. SoFi's Upland.
Come sponsor us.
Yeah,
sponsor us,
right?
yes.
Come sponsor us. So we're doing this tournament just for a birthday party
Yes.
for the two of us, and we called it the Centennial Party because we both turned 50, like
100.
2 days apart.
Yeah.
You trying to you too?
No, me and
Oh,
my
right.
buddy
Wait a minute. In
Jason,
this case,
not
now,
this one.
what are you drinking? I need it. Like,
She's all, I'm barely turning 21.
right.
I'm 21.
See?
Right. I thought so.
So we are running out of time, but I do wanted to ask one last question to each one of you.
Yes.
So we'll start here.
Okay.
Where do you want to see your business go to? Like the next level? Where's the next level for
We
you?
just had this conversation yesterday.
Yes, we did.
I would like to get to the point where you want an honest answer.
Yes. House Over Baz, we're like raw here. We're super
So
raw.
the objective is for me to sell my business.
Okay.
To grow it to a point where I can be able to sell it. So I've had my company for 12 years. I would like to be at the 15-year mark, pass it on to the next person who would like to take it
That's
over.
great exit strategy.
Yes.
So that's
Exit strategy,
what
yes.
you got going on. That's
Yes.
great. That's great. And what about you?
I'd like
Rick,
to scale my business.
scale it. Okay.
Scale it up.
How big do you see this?
20 million.
That's great. Yeah, that's great.
Yeah.
You've been thinking about this. Those are
We had this conversation
We
yesterday.
literally went through this yesterday.
whole
in this
conversation
whole
yesterday.
conversation. So yeah, the goal is to grow and scale up, duplicatable, so that we can get to the point where we're at 20 million, and then whether we sell or just continue growing, I want to build generational wealth.
And you guys started this year together with the business?
This?
Yeah, when do you wanna
started
see
last
this?
month.
We started this last month.
Oh,
So-
has it been a progress in the 4 weeks? Has it been in progress?
It's been
been-
extremely successful in the
it's been
past 4
profitable.
weeks. Yes.
So you're on the way.
Extremely
You're on the way.
profitable and extremely successful in the past 4 weeks.
So where we want to take Naturally Stoned is 20 million.
Yes.
For sure.
Yes.
That's great.
So to sell one manufacturing wholesale company to go into this one.
I want Naturally Stoned to be a household name.
Yeah.
I want if anybody sees bracelets on the wrist, be like, are those Naturally Stoned brooches? Or are they just some knockoff from China?
You're just not cold. Not touch. It's not cold. Your face.
Not now.
This guy.
It's marble.
It's been on
Right.
on your wrist for a while, bro.
Right.
What's going on over there?
Yeah.
So can we do a shameless plug?
Go ahead.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
So if you want
This
to
is your
purchase,
this is your camera
okay.
here.
So if you would like to purchase any shawl dolls, it is at shawldolls.com. It's spelled SHAWLDAWLS.com. All of our social media is at shawl dolls, and if you use the code We Love You, you get 15% off.
And if you are a business owner and you have some issues or problems in your business, if you reach out and reference House Over Baz, I'll give you a free consultation. And I'll come in and sit
Great.
There
down.
you have
That's
it.
great.
You can reach me at myconsulting11@gmail, or you can go to my website, myconsultgroup.com.
Thank you. Thank
sure.
you both for coming on.
And if
Thank
you
you.
are interested in our stones, because that's what we were talking about.
One other thing.
We are a wholesale company currently. We will be doing direct to consumer very soon. But if you are interested in wholesale, you can email us at shopnaturallystoned@gmail.com.
Thank you so much for coming. Our slogan is Shed the Sheep. So if you can just look at our camera
On three.
Shed the Sheep. 1, 2, 3.
Shed the sheep.
House Over Baz. I'm Jacob Casas.
I'm Rico Savage.
Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And we have another episode coming on at 7:30.
You ready?
Don't forget to watch that one. That's a good one too. So House Over Baz. I'm Jacob Casas, and we're out.
Peace.